back to Pop's Garage.
Once again, we've had a very successful month, so we thank you all for that.
How many hits have we had this month, Hunter?
We've had 1,100 hits just in this month alone, which is
wow.
brilliant, so thank you. We've got lots more coming up in this show for you. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as much.
This is our last show before the NEC.
Yeah, it's getting big now, so don't forget, book your tickets. If you need a link, just go on our website, you'll see the link for the NEC, and you get a discount with the code that we have on our website, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, excellent. Right, we've got a new bike in the stable.
Yes, I've finally moved up into big bike Terry, thanks to Spanners.
It's about time.
Yeah, we've got a nice GS500 in the stables. But this bike wasn't all what she seemed, was she?
No, definitely not. There's definitely a backstory to this bike.
Yeah, the deal seemed too good to be true, and I was a little bit worrying on it, and so Spanners said, well, do the obvious thing, which was
AA check.
a HPI check with the AA. So, spent 14 quid, way worthwhile by the way, even though it does seem a lot of money, but spent 14 quid on a HPI check. And we had one problem. It came back stolen. Now, ordinarily, as soon as you see that, walk away. Don't bother with it. But we looked at it and it says stolen in 2001. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, after that much time, you'd kind of expect something to have been settled with it, wouldn't you?
Well, that's it. And the fact it was, when we did the research, it was on the road, taxed, MOT'd and insured and everything, in 2013. That's the last time it was on the road, but it was on the road legally.
Yeah. So what we did a bit of digging.
Yes.
We contacted lots of companies.
Yeah, the AA were very good, because not only did they just give you a HPI check, they helped back support you. And they managed to give us the original company, which was Ryder Insurance, who insured the bike. One snag. Ryder don't exist.
Yeah, they were taken over.
This is it. And who were they overtaken by? Can you remember?
Wasn't it a GS?
No, Arriva.
Arriva, sorry.
Arriva. So we contacted Arriva, and we got the head insurance investigator on the case, and he came back and says that bar should have been removed years ago. So you remove the bar, and now, ta-da!
Proud owner of a
Good
GS500.
news. She's all legal and clean. So we have the nice GS500 in the stables.
So we'll be doing some work on that later on in the show.
Yeah, because we have a slight look at running issue with her, which is we think is the car balancing, isn't it?
Yeah, we think it's running out of sync. So we're going to be looking at tuning the carbs and also looking at how to sync the carbs.
Yeah, so a good case for you guys who are running many multi-carb bikes out there, just an idea on how it's done.
In fact, shall we go and get cracking?
Yep, I think we will. So join us over with the
Thank
bike.
you. So we was going to try and do a carb balance on this, however, to chuck a proverbial spanner in the works, we got to the problem of why it's not running right. And if you'd like to have a look at this, so I don't know if you can see, but can you see the crack there? That is allowing air to be sucked in, which is throwing the carbs out of balance. Now, until we've actually got a replacement for these, we can't do any balancing on the carbs.
Okay, so what we're going to do now then, Spanners?
Well, there's a few other electrical gremlins on this. So one of the things that we're going to look at doing is repairing the electrics. I think one of the biggest problems on this was there was no back brakes. So we're going to look.
Brakes or brake light?
No, the brake lights. So we're going to be investigating this and trying to determine what the fault was and how to rectify it.
Okay, let's have a look
Thank
then. Okay, so as Spanners said, we've got to find out why the rear brake isn't operating the rear brake light. Now we know it works off the front brake, just not off the rear brake. So the first thing we need to do is go by the switch. Whenever you're doing some electrical checks, easiest way is check from the front and back. We know the brake light works, as I said, because of the front brakes. We know the bulb's okay. So the other operation is the switch. So the switch is hidden behind this panel. So all we do, number 6 Allen key, to remove the 2 bolts. Oh, let there be light.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can see what I'm not doing now.
I think that needs a bit of a restoration, that does, dude.
Yeah, so the frame needs a whole clean. So as we pull this out,
Just to let you guys
right.
know,
Go on, sorry, spanners.
we're going to be doing a full-scale restoration on this soon.
Yeah, in the winter, this is going to come off the road in the winter and be completely stripped and rebuilt, and it's going to become a pop special. Okay, so here's a brake switch. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, there's a brake switch, and straight away you can see what the problem is. This spring here, with this little black thing on the end, should be attached to there.
Can we put some super glue on it?
No. No, these switches are about a fiver. The other thing is, if I pull that off there, can you see how green that is in there?
Let me try and zoom in on that.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that green is because water's got into the switch. So not only is the switch broken, it has also gone corroded. Now these are easy to take out. As you can see, we just simply turn it to take the switch out.
So you would think that this would be a usable job for an amateur mechanic,
Oh,
yeah?
dead easy. Now, if you wanted to test, it was just the switch. What we can do, we can take these two wires here, okay, and we can bridge those two wires with a piece of wire.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll move the camera around and we'll show you that in action.
Okay. Okay, so here's our socket where it would actually connect to the brake switch. So what we do, we got our piece of wire and we bridge it across the two ports, and hey presto, brake light comes on. So we know now, categorically, the fault is with the brake switch. And so we need to get a new brake switch, and that'll be sorted.
So Tonto, so we tested the circuit, we
Yeah.
found the problem.
Yeah.
What would normally be the first thing you check?
Okay. In this case, we knew that the light was working when we applied the front brake,
Because
the light came on.
exactly.
Now, if the light didn't come on with either the front brake or the back brake, then the first thing we would check is battery voltage. Before anything else, check you got a good charge battery.
And it's connected.
Yes, it's connected. Bike like this, you have a simple little battery like this, drop a meter across, anything standard like this, drop it across the two terminals, and it will give you the reading. What's the battery voltage?
12 volts.
No. It gets everybody all the time, that does. Battery will tell you on it, it's 12 volts.
It says it there, 12
12
volts.
volts. But it's not. Each battery contains 6 cells. Have you ever noticed you've got 6 dots on the top? Each of those dots is a cell in the battery. 6 cells. Each cell is 2.2 volts. I'll be asking questions later, so take notes.
Is that like the potato?
The potato, that's it.
Yeah.
And each cell, 2.2 volts. Add 6 to 2.2 times, add 6. Or times 6, I should say.
13.2.
13.2, and that is a true battery voltage.
That's
13.2 volts. This is
some proper
why.
wizardry there.
Yeah, this is why when your alternator charges,
It
if you've got a
charges 14
voltmeter,
volts,
you've got
doesn't
14 volts.
Ah, that makes sense actually.
Because it has to overcome the resistance of the battery. You see? And that's why.
Unless your alternator's kaput.
It destroys it. Now, there's various ways we can test it. If you want to do a load test, if your cell's buckled within your battery, it can drop the ampage. So you'll get your voltage, but not ampage.
Is that why cars with older batteries sometimes find it really difficult to start in colder conditions?
Yeah, because the cells will warp, and as the cells warp, they actually touch together. And when they touch, it shorts the cell out, which reduces the ampage of that cell. Now, the easiest way we can do that is with something like this. This is a mean thing. You see, you get each one and you attack. Oh no.
Not there.
These will be really nasty. But
Yeah.
with these,
Take
put
them
it
off.
positive and negative to your battery, and then you flick that over. And this is effectively like an electric fire, but it will read the ampage here. And it will show you the ampage of your battery, or your voltage of your battery. As you put the load on, it will simulate starting your car.
Ah, right.
Okay, and
So
you'll
that
watch the needle drop.
So that can draw like up to 60 amps.
A lot more than that. This will actually do a serious heavy ampage draw. I think this particular one will do a 100 amp draw.
Oh, that's cool.
Just check actually. Yeah, it will do up to a 100 amp draw of the heaviest starter, you see? And
So-
it basically shows you on there, you can see
Right.
the gauge there.
Yeah.
We'll do a zoom up so you can see that in a minute.
So we've established that the battery's good.
Yep, so battery
got a
stays
circuit.
positive. We've got a good circuit.
We've got a good circuit. What test would you do then?
Now, if we've got a good circuit on the battery, fuses are okay. So we check fuses.
Yeah.
No point in checking it, so fuses are blown. So we check fuses. Fuses are okay. So then we've got to get deeper. And the way we go deeper is by using something like this. Going back to our multimeter. And with the multimeter, we can do these in a various of ways. Now you see we've got various different multimeters. We've got the granddaddy of them all. This one used to belong to my granddad, as it happened, which has a deflecting needle. And we have the modern version with a deflecting needle there. Work exactly the same way. For if you're unsure of how to use a meter, this is the best one to get. Simple little meter. You just turn it on and you get a digital readout. You touch that to your battery and it will give you a voltage reading. And we can use that to test the circuit.
Yeah, cool.
So, because if a bulb is not on, it might not necessarily be positive that's missing. Could be the earth that's missing.
Yeah.
And with this, we can test that. If you've got earth and no positive, then you go back to the start of the circuit to see if there's positive there.
Pop's Garage tip, whenever using one of these, always before you do anything, turn it to resistance, to the beep, so you can check both cables are in correctly. If it doesn't beep, then you've got a problem with your cables.
Unless you don't have a beep on it.
It should still show
This
it.
one doesn't have a beep. So if you turn it to the resistance check, as Spanner's just said, and you just simply touch your two leads together, we'll just do a close-up so you can see the needles. Then that's a direct continuity.
Yes.
So that means the leads are good.
If you didn't have those figures, it would mean that there's a break in that circuit somewhere.
Yeah. Now, we've checked it, everything seems to be okay, and that we can find the fault. We can do a continuity check a piece of wire. Because believe it or not, when we went to Norway, one of the bond bugs that was following us in queue suddenly lost his ignition. A quick jump lead across, managed to get the car started, and drove it back to the campsite. When I investigated, everything was there. We tested at the ignition side, positive 12 volts. Tested the other end of the wire,
Positive.
nothing.
No, right.
0 volts. But it's only one piece of wire.
So what happened?
The wire was flexing in midair and bouncing like that. And it had actually broke the core in the
Inside.
middle of the wire.
That's amazing.
So the wire looked okay.
Yeah.
But by testing at the beginning and at the end, we could determine that that piece of wire was actually scrap.
That's amazing.
Replace that piece of wire, started straight up. And that's just doing a simple continuity check, which these will do. Now, if you want to do an alternator check, okay, check you've got a voltage output, you can actually use something as simple as this.
Yeah. So, Tonto, what voltage does an alternator put out?
Oh, an alternator will actually pull out up to 15 volts.
There you go. And why is that?
And that's why if you look on this one, it goes up to maximum 15 volts. Because that's your maximum voltage output that you expect of an alternator.
Brilliant.
Okay, and so if it's down here, forget it, send it back home. Because it's no good.
Waiting.
But this will then, basically the LEDs will light up as you more and more voltage it registers. Very easy, very effective way. You don't have to be a high-tech electrician to know how to understand and use one of these. And it will save you pounds in having to try and find out what fault is with your car or bike. Now what we'll do is we'll show you how these are working and explain some of the basic functions that you will need to know in order to use these to efficiently do your test.
Okay.
Okay, so we showed you how to use the meter. Now we'll show you in practical reality. Connect it to our battery, and can you see that voltage here? 13.1 volts. So there goes the myth that a battery is 12 volts. It is actually, as we said, 13.2. Maximum efficient on the voltage of the output. Okay, so hopefully that will be some help for you guys with the meters on diagnosing any electrical problem that you might have.
Yeah, I mean, like we said before, it just makes life easy, doesn't it?
Oh, big time, big time. One thing we're going to be doing, by the way, at the NEC, remember the NEC Practical Classic Show, that's coming up very, very soon.
Less than a month.
Yeah, we're going to get busy, we're going to get very busy. We're actually going to do a live practical demonstration on how to work and make a basic wiring loom. So if you're at the show, do pop along to Pop Stand 5375 and come and watch our demonstration on the electrical.
Talking about Pops, where's he gone?
I was just thinking that. Where's he gone? I bet you he's having a brew again.
I bet you he is.
Yeah. Never brings us the brew out. He actually stays over there and drinks it
Should we go
himself. Yeah, I think so. Back in a minute.
See you in a minute.
So, we found him.
Hiding behind the kettle.
Again.
Alright.
Okay, so.
Alright.
Isn't it funny how he always disappears when there's work to do?
Yeah. Work.
No,
Kettle on.
Pops has gone.
We've got to
Yeah,
make,
it kind of rhymes that. Work, kettle on, Pops is gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
well, the thing is, we've got to make sure we've got plenty of fluid inside as we don't get dehydrated.
Yeah, but you don't
Very
make us
true.
drinks. You
No,
only
no,
make
it's
your
like,
own.
where's the drink now? You was at the kettle.
Oh, it hasn't boiled yet.
Yes.
Right,
Okay.
thank you for watching.
Yeah, and we'll see you at the NEC.
See?
Excellent. Well, thank you from all of us.
Yeah.
That's alright.
We'll see you next month.
Bye
Bye
bye.
now.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. What's that noise in the unit, spanners? I was going to have a look.